Now at 11, stuck 20 stories in the air. Hear from the firefighter who saved a woman from a crane.
What kept me going was, how did she do this? Surely if she got up there, I can get up there.
A man is arrested after pointing a gun at passing cars near this Southwest Portland library, then firing into a nearby park.
After a local parade was shut down over threats of violence, other Portland events are now banning politics.
The Columbia River close to flood stage once again. How the high water is impacting work and recreation.
Rescued on Mount St. Helen.
We would just grab her by the hands and pull her.
A climber who couldn't walk is saved by a quick-thinking cop in the right place at the right time.
We begin with breaking news tonight. The suspect in a break-in and sexual assault of a child in Clackamas County has just been arrested.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office's Santiago Martinez Flores was arrested in Southern California and is in custody. He's accused of breaking into a Milwaukee area apartment in February and attacking a 9-year-old girl. Clackamas deputies just identified him for the first time on Monday. We'll keep you updated on this developing story on KGW.com.
New tonight, Portland police arrested a man they say pointed a gun at cars in Southwest Portland, then fired shots in a nearby park. This all happened near Southwest Capitol Highway and Dickinson Street, and that's where KGW's Mike Benner joins us live tonight. Mike?
Yeah, no question about it, Laurel. A frightening evening here in Southwest Portland. It all started a little after 6:15. Reports of a man pointing a gun at passing cars near the Capitol Hill Library, which had closed only 15 minutes earlier. Now, as soon as officers arrived, things escalated. There were reports of actual gunfire. The suspect then took off for nearby Holly Farm Park, where there's more gunfire. Officers were hot on the man's trail, and they took him into custody, but not before he allegedly damaged the park's portable toilet with more gunfire. Nobody was injured in this ordeal, which of course is really good news. In the meantime, the suspect is identified as 26-year-old Aaron Garcia. He's facing a number of charges tonight, including unlawful use of a weapon, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. Aaron Garcia should make a court appearance sometime tomorrow. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Another Portland parade is planning to ban politics after one of the first parades of the Rose Festival season was canceled. There were rumors that groups from two extreme sides of the political spectrum were going to disrupt the Avenue of Roses parade, so organizers called it off. KGW's Catherine Cook is live in St. John's, where that community is responding with changes to its own parade. Catherine?
And Joe, organizers say they don't want trouble here at the St. John's Parade, so they are vetting all parade entries very carefully and asking groups from both political sides to please sit this one out.
It's a family-oriented parade. That's what it was started for. That's all it's about.
Barbara Legg has volunteered with the St. John's Parade for 23 years. This year, when the parade rolls through on May 13th, she says there will be some changes.
Right now, I think we just need to keep the politics at home.
She made her decision after political strife and threats of violence led organizers to cancel the 82nd Avenue of Roses parade. Barbara says the St. John's Parade has always allowed groups representing political parties or candidates to march until now.
We have to protect the community. We have to protect the parade. So the bottom line is, if you can't play nice, we can't have you in the parade.
So you're not allowing it this year?
No.
It was a tough decision, but one organizers of Rose Festival parades made a long time ago.
Nobody who is advocating a particular political point of view, religious point of view, or any social controversial points of views are allowed to participate in our events.
Rich Jarvis with the Rose Festival says they still get protesters for a number of reasons, but they're not worried about violence, even now. In fact, they're not planning to make changes to any of their sponsored events. Jarvis says he's trusting police and city leaders to keep things safe.
This is a timeout place, if you will. Leave the politics and leave all of those issues at the door, please. Come on in here and just join your neighbors and enjoy the community event. We need that.
As for those who'll be missing out this weekend, Barbara hopes they'll join neighbors in St. John's next month.
Come on and enjoy.
In place of Saturday's canceled parade, another group is organizing what they're calling a March for Free Speech. It'll be in the Montevilla neighborhood near the parade route. Joe and Laurel, back to you.
Thank you, Catherine. And new tonight, we're hearing the calls to 911 after a wild chase in Malala last night. The thief stole a man's truck while he was hanging onto the window. Listen as he called for help while trying to catch the suspect in a friend's car.
My truck has been stolen. It is heading towards 213 right now. I'm with the person that my truck hit.
Okay, so
and we're trying to follow my truck.
The victim jumped into the friend's truck right after the thief rear-ended it. They followed him until he crashed again on Main Street, knocking down a power pole. Police say this was actually the second vehicle Eric Potter stole last night. He's now in jail.
Businesses near Portland's airport are getting frustrated with the city's homeless crisis, but tonight there's a sign they'll be getting some help soon. Hotels and car rental companies in the area say they've been dealing with break-ins and harassment. They say the problems are coming from these RVs that have been parked on the street since late last summer. Airport Van Rental has had fuel lines cut and gas stolen from their passenger vans, and hotel employees have been harassed and attacked.
We work hard here. Our guests who come here work hard. They don't deserve to be broken into. Nobody in this property, nobody at the other properties deserves to have what's happening to us.
The businesses wrote letters to the chief of police and mayor and say nothing was done until late today. A property manager got a reply from a commander with Portland Police who's now offering to meet with them about these issues. We will stay on this and let you know if anything changes.
Vancouver's Waterfront project is facing some delays because of all the rain this winter and spring. Crews had to pause construction a few weeks ago when the Columbia River hit flood stage, and the river is expected to rise once again in the next few days. This time the river might not rise quite high enough to stop construction. Folks in charge say they're tracking the river levels and will make decisions day by day. The project is expected to be finished in the summer of 2018, but the soggy conditions have some worried about deadlines.
Even though we really are dying to see some sun, we don't want to have too much snow melt too soon because that'll raise up the river level again.
If the river rises high enough the next few days, the interstate bridge will have to be raised more often to let boats go under.
Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino for a look at those river levels and what they're up to. Matt.
Thanks, Joe. You know what? They're getting high again. This is the Columbia at Vancouver, so everywhere downstream from there. Very high, below flood stage, which is actually here at 16 feet, but actionable levels just a little bit below that, and the river level itself just barely below that. So there could be some minor floodings of farms and fields, say Sylvia Island, and then downstream towards Kelso and Longview. But we're going to avoid, at least this time, any widespread flooding. It'll be close to flood stage, though, tomorrow and into Friday. And then, as you can see by the line here, it does drop significantly as we go into next week because the rain is going to stop. Now, that's the Columbia River. Detroit Reservoir full for the first time in 2 years. Check that out. And here's the graph on the Detroit Reservoir going back to April 20th. Notice what happened here. It just leveled off. That's because it's full. Not holding any more water because it can't hold any more water, basically. So, again, for the first time in 2 years, and this graph basically tells us that it's come up about 10 feet in about 5 days, actually. So it's been a significant rise there. We're still tracking some showers, but we also have quite a bit of dry weather in the 7-day forecast. Back to you.
Okay, that's good news. Music to our ears. Thank you, Matt.
Providence Park is already known as a great venue for soccer, but the Timbers and Thorns are hoping to make it an even greater cathedral for the sport.
Plans are in the works to expand the stadium, adding about 4,000 seats. KGW's Mike Benner found out there is a lot of enthusiasm for the project, but not everybody's thrilled.
Are you hiding?
At the Civic Tap Room and Bottle Shop on Southwest 18th Avenue.
You want a cider?
Business is good.
It's number 5, Cherries for Routing Democracy.
But it's even better when the Timbers play at home.
There's a line to the back of the door.
So imagine if Providence Park could hold even more fans than the current 21,000 and change.
It's great. I mean, we get a really good turnout for pre and post game already.
The Timbers and Thorns soccer clubs are planning to expand the stadium. An additional 4,000 seats on 4 levels on the east side of the pitch.
Everyone's super excited. I had a customer say he had a crush on the new stadium.
Talk about expansion has been going on for years, but Timbers officials say now is the time to make a move.
We knew we're selling out. We knew there's huge demand. We knew we have this amazing stadium, and we saw where
our demand was. We also saw where the league economics and growth was going.
Team officials say the project will cost roughly $50 million. But listen to this. Taxpayers aren't expected to take a hit. This is a privately funded endeavor. Welcoming news for some, but not for others.
Game days are kind of hectic.
Eric Kurtz lives near Providence Park. He says a bigger stadium means bigger headaches.
I can't see it any other way. I mean, it's just going to make it even more crazy as far as traffic and trying to get around.
Which one would you like?
None of which matters to the management team back at the Civic Tap Room and Bottle Shop.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Maybe we'll get a line out the door at some point.
It's not a done deal just yet. The city of Portland still needs to sign off on some things, but assuming they do, construction could start this fall.
The White House released a sweeping tax code today that could mean change for every American family and business. The proposed plan would eliminate most tax deductions for individuals. 7 tax brackets would be reduced to 3. For married couples, no tax on the first $24,000 of income, tax benefits to help with child care, and eliminating the death tax. It would slash the corporate tax rate by 20%. Critics say there is no way to pay for these huge cuts. The Trump administration says the money would come from closing loopholes and economic growth.
The threat from North Korea led to an unusual meeting today. All of the United States senators were called to the White House for a secret briefing. Senators boarded buses outside the Capitol and traveled to meet with the president and his top advisors. They told the senators North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons is an urgent national security threat, and that they are pursuing diplomatic measures, but are prepared to defend the U.S. and its allies. It comes as the top commander in the Pacific unveiled a new warning that part of the U.S. is already within striking distance of North Korea's arsenal.
Kim Jong-un is clearly in a position to threaten Hawaii today, in my opinion.
Tonight, both sides are showing force. North Korea has been continuing live fire exercises, while the U.S. and South Korea held joint drills today.
Well, check out this bizarre scene over the streets of Toronto this morning as rescue crews try to reach a woman perched on a crane hook. Crews say she was more than 20 stories in the air, and they're not quite sure how she even got there.
It is impressive to go down from that tip down to where the shivs are and the hook. That's the toughest part. I don't know how she did that. Like, she slid on the cable, I'm sure, but that'd be a tough go.
Oh, yeah, that makes you queasy, doesn't it? That firefighter spent more than 2.5 hours climbing up the crane, lugging a 1,000-foot rope so he could rappel down to reach her. He says it was cold and difficult work. After she was safely returned to the ground, the woman was led away in handcuffs to an ambulance and charged with criminal mischief.
Up next from the night team, a climber gets stranded on Mount St. Helens, but luckily a police officer was also climbing that day. How she helped her get home safely.
Plus, lawmakers consider new rules for towing companies in Oregon, the changes that could protect you from predatory towers.
And meet Hope the dog, neglected by a previous owner. She's now found a woman who's working to help her fix her deformed paws.